Good day coders, in this video I'll be covering Angular templates and directives. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you want to support, please hit the link for the buy me a coffee and you can actually support to the channel. So what are we going to be covering is Angular templates and directives, right? Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna cover is that structural directives. So I'll be covering the if statements, ngIfs, and ngFor. Okay, so prior to the video I've got these prepared, right? So I've got this boolean which is visible set to true. I've got an array of items, view, the current view, and the selected box index. Okay, so here in the HTML, what I'm going to do is actually create like a button over here. So this button will actually have, so this button will be used to actually showing items and actually hiding items, right? So how do you go about doing that? We're gonna say is visible, right? And then we're gonna use like a ternary expression, and then I'm just gonna say hide or show. Okay, this is how you can actually do like an if statement in one line using this ternary like operation. If true, it's gonna show hide, and then if false, then else it's then gonna show show. Okay, so another thing that I want to do is actually add a class which is called btn. I already have like CSS in here, which is for btn, flex container, box, and active box. Okay, so if I were to actually save this up, you'll see I've got this button set up here. So what I want to do is actually, the moment I click on this button, okay, let me just come here and actually say do an h3 tag over here, and then I'm just gonna say list of items, right? So okay, let me just remove this for now. Okay, I've got list of items. So basically what I want to do is when I click on this show items, I want the items to show, but when I hide the items, I want then the items to actually hide down here, right? So how do I do that? So how I do that is I'm going to use this click and use the is visible, and I'm going to say when I click on this, I just want to negate, right, this is visible. So what will happen is it will change this is visible boolean. So if it's true, right, it will actually change it to false. When I click again, it's going to change it to true. If I click again, it's just going to do that, so forth, right? And then how I actually do this, so if you actually see now, when I click on this, it actually does the change, but it doesn't hide this element over here. So how I go about that is I want to show this when is visible is actually set up to true. So now if I click on this, you'll actually see the button, and yeah. Okay, so what's the next thing that I want to do? So I want to use this flex container, right? So this is a class that I actually have in my actual SCSS. And then I want to show all my items, so I have to like loop through and actually display that. So how I can actually do that is I'll use this ngFor, right? So now this is the new implementation. Before it was ngFor. So then I'll actually use this class which is box, then in here just gonna say item. Okay, so if I come here, I say show, then you'll actually see this. Obviously, if you don't have those classes in your SCSS, you won't see this nice styling over here, right? Okay, and then what do I then want to do, right? So now I can see that I actually can see all like my items. The next thing that I also want to demonstrate is how you go about using template So it's basically attribute directives. So the first one was actually structural directives, which is the if statement and this for. But now I'm just going to show you these attribute directives that you have in Angular, right? So how you go about doing that is one of them is ngClass, like this. And then what I basically want to do is for each button, right? So when I click on this item, I want to set is active state, right? So the color of it will actually change, right? So if I say is active box, right? Only if the selected item, because I've got this guy over here, selected box index, right? Which I'm just gonna use, right? So if the selected box index is equal to this $index. Okay, so now if I actually click on the button, nothing is happening, right? Because I also need to set like a click state over here and say selected box index is equal to this, right? So now what will happen is over here, it will actually append this class in here, right? So which is the active box, which will then set the background color to actually be that, and then the border to set it to none. So now if I come in here, show it, and actually click on this, you'll actually see that it's actually applying that. But one thing you're actually seeing is the color of the actual text inside the box is still black, right? So we would want to change it out to be white if the active state is white. So you could do that using this. You could actually come here and set it to white, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use another attribute, ngStyle attribute directive, and then I'm just gonna set the color. So I just need curly brace, and then I'm just gonna say the color over here. So what I want to do now is say if the selected item is equal to this index, what I want to do is, because when it's selected, it's gonna have this active state, I want the color of the text to be white, else just set it to be black. Okay, so now if I were to do this, you'll see that the color of the text is actually changing. So with this, you can have conditions to actually set up your CSS stylings. Okay, so what's another one that I'm actually going to demonstrate? So I'm also going to show you how to go about using like a switch statement, right? Switch case. Okay, so I'm just gonna have another h3, and then I'm just gonna say this is switch between views. Okay, so in here I'm just gonna use the same class, which is this flex container, right? And then in this flex container, I'm just gonna have like 3 buttons, right? So like that. So this first button is gonna be my home button, the second one would be my profile, and the last one would be my settings. Okay, so now I've got these buttons. If I then now actually add this class, which is btn, if I have this class, class, which is btn, then I've got this class, which is btn. Okay, now you'll see that there's stylings over there, right? So now what I basically want to do is I want to say on click, right? I want to change my current view to equal to this. So it's going to be home. So let me just do this. So this is going to be profile, and this is actually going to be setting. So it's going to be profile, and this is going to be settings, right? So then underneath here, I'm going to use like a switch statement, right? So I'm going to say switch, but this is actually saying switch the current view, and the case should be this, right? So if the current view is actually home, right? Then display stuff there. So what I'm going to display here is just going to be an h4 tag, and then I'm going to say welcome to the home view. Okay, that's the first one. Okay, I just can copy this, paste that there, paste that there, and then the last one. Okay, wait, let me just do this right for now. Profile, just gonna have profile settings. Okay, then this is gonna say you are in the settings view, right? And then this is gonna say you in the profile view. You are in the profile view. Okay, so now the default one is actually, this is gonna be about, right? So see what's actually happening, right? You're not seeing anything, but the moment you click on home, you click on that, you see the actual views, right? But the reason why you're actually not seeing this is because on the switch statement, right, we don't have a condition that actually caters for about. So we can set like a default, right, state saying that if it doesn't meet any of those actual conditions, what I'm actually interested in showing is like h4 view not found, right? And then what I can do is actually just add that btn class like that, just to make it look a bit nicer. Nope, sorry, not btn. Let me use box. Nope. So it's box. Okay, nope. Box. Okay, yeah. So because when this started off, the current view is actually about, so it's actually not gonna find it and say view not found, and then this is gonna say, okay, this is the home view, this is the profile, this is the setting view. So yeah, that's just basically it with Angular templates and directive. If you like this channel, if you like this content and you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Peace.